Well. Been a minute or two, but welcome back to the Zoo Crew Redo podcast. Scott Hastings, Andy Lindahl here with you once again. This COVID thing sucks, and we're not going to talk a lot about it, but last time we did one of these, we were in a pizza joint and enjoying some company, and now here we are in a house.
Actually, Andy, we did one at your house. I came over. I said I was there to do the podcast. You just came home early. But we did do one at your house one time. No social distancing that day.
Well.
Before you got home.
Well.
No, it has been a long time, and it's weird times. And I've gone through okay with this. Kind of, hey, this is a big vacation, but we're kind of working during it, to this absolutely sucks, to what are you going to do? I'm in the what are you going to do stage now.
No, I think a lot of us are with you. It sucks because it's summer. And I think a lot of us are mentally prepared to, like you said, I guess when it all started, and again, we're not going to belabor the point on this thing because we're all living it, but I guess I thought by Memorial Day we'd probably be done with this and things would start to turn around come June or something. But, you and I got kids, man. It's tough. Kids don't have much to do, and I know that's, there's a lot going on in the world where people got bigger problems, but it's hard to watch your kids not have a normal summer and get to be kids during the summer, right? Yeah. So, anyway. As we do start to get things kind of open back up, what are you looking most forward to? Is it, we got the NBA tournament coming up, we got the baseball happening, we got the hockey all trying to start, footballs. Is this going to be a cool time, do you think, or...
It's really weird. To be honest with you, I've yet to watch a baseball game, yet I've listened to two. Like I've listened to the radio. It's almost like I feel like we've been living in the dark ages. Why am I going to watch a television when the radio was how we listened to baseball for 100 years, right, before television came around? So I've actually listened to a couple of games with Jack and Mike and loved it, actually. One, I was driving down from the mountains, and hey, what's better than a 2-hour drive than to listen to a baseball game, man? It was really cool. I'm being real honest. It was really cool for me. And now basketball, I've the first little exhibition games, we kind of Zoom, played the game, and then we just kind of like talked Mystery Science 3000 on top of it a little bit. And it feels like, okay, is there a little normal? And then you watch the basketball game, and you got these phony screens. They're trying to do something. I was watching tonight, Utah and New Orleans.
The Pelicans.
And they got. I feel like I'm watching an episode of MASH. They got all the fake sound and all the stuff going in, and it kind of felt real. Didn't look real, but it felt real. And then I did the Lakers, and they didn't have. It was a different gym, Lakers and Clippers, and there was no sound. They didn't have it piped in correctly or not, right? It was, and then so like, okay, this is weird. But, it is what it is. Watched the hockey game, watched a little bit of the, Tampa and the Miami, Florida Marlins. Or not Marlins.
Florida Panthers.
Florida Panthers. And it sucked. It was just a big arena with.
Too empty, right?
Yeah, too empty on that one. So, on one hand, I want to say it feels like it's getting normal. And on the other hand, it's almost like you're watching sports in Blade Runner times, and the losers are all going to be going outside and turned into artificial intelligent, robots or something. So it's weird. It's weird. And I'm going to tell you what else. I don't know about you. I'm sorry I'm rambling. My viewing habits have changed. I'll be real absolutely honest with you. I had a chance last night to flip over and watch some baseball, or I can watch Fear in the City about the mobs in New York in the 70s and 80s. That was entertaining. And I find myself watching stupid stuff like that now, which is what I've had to do for 4 months.
See, Scotty, I think this is going to be interesting. I was talking to a friend about this earlier, and like you, I want to get into your thoughts on the different fans and the way they're filling the stadiums, because honestly, I thought during the Jazz-Pelicans game tonight, the virtual fans, I think I like the best of everything we've seen from
so
the cutouts
and
all that kind of stuff, because at least it's people interacting.
Right.
I don't know how you do that in all those buildings. They're too big. But I did like it, and I saw the fake fans on a highlight from Fox a little bit earlier where they actually put the video game fans in there. But those are weird because you're showing me a home run highlight. And granted, it looks like people are in the stands. No one's reacting to a home run ball.
Yeah,
so that's a little strange, too.
And yet, the first baseball game they played the other night had like the highest ratings in 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, but see, I'm like you, so I'm not listening to it on the radio. If I'm being dead honest, I feel a little bad for Jerry Schimmel. I keep him in the back of my mind. You're happy for Mike Rice, who's getting a shot that he's waited for, but I feel bad for Jerry because I've been there. You know, my first year off the Broncos broadcast where it wasn't my choice, you know, that hurts you a little bit. You feel strange after doing something for a decade. But let me ask you this. Like, here's what I'm curious about. You brought up the baseball, and I don't want to put you in a tough position. Like, if the Nuggets are going on a run, of course I'm going to watch them. If the Avs going on a run, of course I'm going to watch them. But I don't know. Like, you talk about the habits. My habit is to kind of be training camp right now. And you know, frankly.
Well, add on to that. Your habits are, okay, the Rockies are completely out of it and football started.
I was just about to say, the Rockies may be playing, but it's so weird. They're in it, but yet I'm used to not caring right now. Now, you know, look, check in with me in a month. I feel good about their first trip through the rotation, but I just wonder. I wonder what the ratings are going to tell us when everybody's going at one time. Now, there won't be any preseason games to muddy any of this, but do you have a gut feel as to what may win August? I mean, the NBA will be in its playoffs, so I feel like they should have the advantage of the three traditional sports that'll be going.
Yeah, and I think it's going to depend on market to market. If the Utah Jazz are still playing in mid to late August, every television in Utah is going to be watching the Jazz. Same thing probably in Portland, no matter what's going on. If you're in New York and you know, I don't know, the everybody's out of it up there, and Toronto's playing the Tampa Bay, they're going to be turning into hockey.
No,
you know, so I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just going to be different. I think people are going to celebrate it and just kind of watch it, and then hope there's going to be an adjustment. Players, I think, from adjustment from all the players first, and then maybe the fans. I don't know. I think the games will all get better as you go. You know, I mean, Michael Malone's already said with the Nuggets, you know, they're going to look at these 8 games to go along with the 3 exhibitions is all kind of preseason stuff. The Avs, I've talked to a lot of people with hockey. They want to get playing right, obviously, but the seeding part of it, the worst thing can be is 1 through 4. And listen, why do you get 1 through 4? So you can have home ice advantage and have a game 7 at home. Ain't nobody home.
Yeah,
you know,
your fake fans will be against you.
Yeah, there's no one at home. So even the Avs, you know, the Avs want to do in that 4 game or the 3 games they're going to play in that thing. It's just get out of it healthy, get to where you're playing good and Avs hockey, and let's see what happens. Because, I mean, okay, you get 1st to 4th, and then I know if you get into 1 seed, you're going to be over on this side. Well, in hockey, they reseed, don't they? So it doesn't matter. So these 4 games or the 3 games they're going to play in the seeding thing, just play. Play to get yourself right. The Nuggets, the worst they can be is 5th. The best they can be is 3rd. So what? Denver's biggest advantage through the years has been playing in Mile High. You're playing Orlando. So get right, and then let's see what happens.
Yeah, avoid the Lakers or Clippers first round.
And yeah, but who knows? Maybe they're just as stiff and stale and rusty. Listen, you know why they're playing 8 games right now?
Well, honestly, I was told that's the end of the TV schedule, so they can wrap up the regular season.
Well, it might be. I think I saw tonight they said there's going to be 88 games played in the next 14 days or something like that in the NBA. Think about that. That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
And so maybe that does satisfy some of the TV requirements, so they keep their money. I think it also gives you an opportunity to make sure Zion Williamson gets into the playoffs somehow.
Which he was featured tonight on the opening game back.
Very opening game, and it's Zion Williamson.
Funny how he left the bubble, and they made sure they got him back and got him through protocol so he could play a game.
You know, you got to be careful saying the conspiracy theories. The people on social media will kill you.
Here's my thing. Yeah, trust me. Social media is a toilet right now. I'm sorry. I don't mind Instagram, but the rest of it I just can't. I'm not going to go off. There's a whole lot of talking, not a lot of listening. And as guys, you and I pride ourselves on our communicating.
Yeah.
Not a lot of communicating going on.
No.
Let me ask you this, because, Ryan, I want to talk about some of the adjustments you think the players have to make since you brought it up. And I thought Ryan Spielborgs and Corey Sullivan were doing something, and they were doing the post-game Tuesday night after Cincinnati's first start in Oakland. And, he kind of had some rough moments. They thought, and I want to know if you would buy into this being a former basketball player. They felt like, I think Corey was the first one to say it, he felt like Cincinnati had a chance to gather himself during a bad inning, and because there was no rabid crowd to add to the rattling nature or adrenaline or emotion, that Cincinnati actually got right and was able to pitch better because of that, proving that there's no true home field advantage here. I mean, do you think, is there going to be anything in the NBA like that where you think because there's no crowd we're going to see it affect the game?
I watched Rudy Gobert hit 2 free throws down late in a game that should have been played in New Orleans. And at 104, 104, and 6 seconds, and he made 2 free throws. He shoots 56%.
But nobody's bugging him, right?
But there's nobody in the background. There's no woo-hoo. There's no people yelling. There's no it's you can calm your nerves. I listen, like I said, I've said this before too. I think the whoever wins these championships, there's going to be an asterisk. And everybody's just going to be an asterisk because, it's fake or not. No. It's going to be an asterisk because the best team probably is going to win. I don't think there's going to be flukes. There's not going to be – guys aren't going to get rattled. Think about this. Late in a basketball game or even a football game, you call a timeout so the crowd, especially if you're home, can just go nuts. Let them think about it. Now it's silent. You're sitting in that gym. I mean, I don't know if they're pumping, noise in that.
But even
place.
if they are, it's not somebody yelling stuff at you like Rudy would have been facing tonight. It would have been stuff directed personally at you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be weird. I think whoever wins it this year, legitimately, will be the best team
skill-wise. Because to me, there's something about being the best team that handles the moment. Like the Broncos. Broncos go back to '97. Weren't necessarily the best team by record, but man, they had to go face down Kansas City. They had to go stare down Pittsburgh. Then they had to take on Green Bay.
Yeah, which to me, their first championship, but also almost the most satisfying, because remember we named that the Revenge Tour, and I mean you go beat Kansas City in Kansas City, which you hadn't done forever. Pittsburgh's always a tough place to play. You win these games on the road.
They beat you early in the year in Pittsburgh. They're feeling good about stuff.
Kansas City beat you late in the year.
Oh, Kansas City always beat you. You know. There's almost, I don't know, maybe you didn't feel it as part of the broadcast crew, but I still remember they beat Jacksonville and put a whooping on them, and they were like, well, at least we got that back. Nobody in the city thought they were getting past Kansas City because it was there.
Yeah.
And so there's none of that this year. The other thing I thought was interesting, and Nate, correct me, my partner had pointed it out, he was watching some game, I think it was the Astros-Dodgers, where the Dusty Baker was just chirping in the dugout, just kind of chirping. Not meaning necessarily for all of it to make the refs' ears, but again, because it's quiet, the ump is hearing every little thing you have to say. And it led to finally the ump going, hey, man, I've had enough, to where, and sometimes guys are going to walk off and, man, I should have crushed that ball. And you're not meaning to talk trash, but it's the things you say when you get back and you're frustrated, and now everyone's hearing it because it's quiet. That's going to change some stuff.
Giancarlo Stanton, the first game, hits a home run, and the crowd might picks up, oh, shit. He knew he hit it hard, right? 548 feet or something like that it went, or 458 feet, something like that. Listen, it's just all new. I mean, everything's new. Everything's going to be, got to figure out what it is. It feels a little theatrical. Right now, staged. Early on. It feels staged, and I know some of the messaging around it, I think after a while will wear on people. Other people say right on. I mean, we're divided anyway, so it's going to be one of those two things. But it just feels – there was an old movie with Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro, the Wag the Dog or something like that, about the fake war.
Wag the Dog.
And they had this whole script, and they had the dude coming home, and he was a hero and lost his shoe and all this. it feels I haven't gotten to they're really competing yet.
Oh, there's no doubt, right? There's no doubt. I felt some moments here and there in baseball, but baseball, baseball's baseball. I watched that Jazz Pelicans game tonight.
Pretty good game.
A good game, but sloppy to start. You could tell they're knocking some rust off, and kind of got what we expected. But I'm with you. Here's the other thing that's going to be weird about this, Scotty, is part of winning the championship is not only surviving the playoffs. They say Mission 16W in hockey, but it's surviving the playoffs after surviving the season. And now this 3-month break, think about it. In most sports, you've had the break that is equal to your average offseason.
Yeah.
In between when we paused the season and now doing these playoffs, man.
Well, the NBA Finals will be done by October 12th. Well, if they're talking about starting the 2001 season or 2021 season in December, that's 6 weeks. You have 6 weeks to start
That's crazy, man. They can't do that, can they? Don't they have to shuffle that back a little bit?
Well, I don't know. Maybe what if you even started January 1st?
I would rather they start. I know Christmas has always been a popular start date for these folks. Man, your boy LeBron is losing some hair.
Hey, LeBron James is going bald in the back. COVID's not been good for him.
No, you need to just shave that thing.
Yeah, he ain't been getting his good treatment.
He's in the give up phase. You got to just give up the hill, don't you? That thing is bald in the back. That looked like a sand trap in the middle of the golf green. You got to shave that thing down. Get rid of that thing. Come on, son.
Oh Lord,
that is bad. That is bad. Anyway, I don't know. To me, I think they got to at least wait and start in December, don't they? Now, hockey. I think hockey's kind of screwed. Hockey just has to. They're just going to have to suck it up. They're going to have to turn it around and play it because, frankly, when you're starting to push into June for hockey, and I love me some hockey, but that you're getting a little warm for my taste to still watch some hockey.
Well, think about this, though. Here's what I say about basketball and hockey. And I think we've talked about this on an earlier podcast, so please go back and subscribe and look. I think that's what you say.
You
right?
do. You subscribe. Give us a follow on the Spotify or whatever.
Yeah. Hockey's a winter sport in the Olympics. Basketball's a summer sport.
Yep.
Who said basketball's got to be, from October 31st to, June? Why not December to July?
I'm with you. I think they should go. I could totally take. Baseball people may hate it. I could take some basketball in the summer. I don't mind it, dude. That's when growing up.
All your pickup games.
I was about to say, as a kid, it was all throughout the summer.
Yeah.
I preferred it in the parks, gyms. There's so many gyms.
Played in the gyms. I never played.
No, because you had to pay to get in the gyms.
Yeah, right.
I'm just looking for people in a park. Let's get a game. Let's go 2, 4, whatever. How many you got? Let's go. Let's play. So I'm with you. I think but I don't think hockey can move. So
if they really did this right, and here's the funny thing, and there's enough money probably to go around. We've already seen it. But if the leagues got together somehow and balanced a sports year out, now I think the one group that wouldn't do it would be football because they love themselves. But you could manage the sports calendar where you get. As football's starting to wind down, basketball starts. And then as basketball's and maybe basketball and hockey. And then when basketball and hockey's winding down, 4th of July, late June, whatever it might be, baseball's going. Because listen, baseball, who really follows baseball till after 4th of July?
I'm with you. You get into it the first month because it's a sign that the summer's coming, right? But after that, I don't even know if 4th of July is soon enough. I think you take a look at the standings 4th of July, but I think you check in with me after the trade deadline. Who made a move and who thinks they're serious, right?
Speaking of seasons, I was the warden. You know her as Julia. I was supposed to ask you a question, and this is a legitimate question from her.
Okay.
Because now we're talking about mixing up the season.
Sure.
We're talking about basketball into the summer.
Yeah.
Hockey into this and baseball after this. Now, I will say this about this season. I don't want to see baseball in November, December.
No, I don't.
I'm done with baseball. But let me ask you this right here. Is it too soon to put up Halloween stuff?
Yes. Yes. Come on now. I know what you're talking about. King Supers is rocking it already.
That's what she said.
I love me some Halloween. You know that.
Yeah.
I got the big Jack Skellington everybody was talking about in the basement. Man, that's got to be like, at best, you go mid-September. At best. You want to soak it in. You kidding me right now? I'm still sweating. I ain't going to pick no pumpkin right now. What are you buying right now that you're staring at that's making you all in the feels about Halloween?
No, I'm not. I just soon put Halloween stuff up about a week before the Halloween and take it down like within a week after Halloween.
Okay.
And I'm good with, just putting autumn stuff in for November. He says no, by the way. Look at her. Look at her face. Show Andy your face. She listen. This is honest God truth. You're going to love this. We had Halloween stuff up October 31st, Halloween. Second week of September, we had Halloween stuff up.
No.
2 days after Halloween, a week after Halloween, we ain't even got out Thanksgiving. In fact, all of a sudden, little pieces of Christmas started popping up in the house. By the Friday after Thanksgiving, we were full-blown Christmas decorations.
All right, so let me tell you about my house. We have fall decorations, okay? Little pumpkins and the scarecrows and the leaves or whatever. Right. Then there's a set of Halloween decorations, which changes it to the ghosts and the witches and whatever. Then we go, the fall and the Thanksgiving kind of coexist, then it all gets put away and we go to the Christmas. Here's the thing. I don't know what's changed, man. I don't know. Well, we talked about this last year on a podcast because we started this shortly after Christmas. I am so sick I feel like I am Charlie Brown walking around with the tree going, I'm not into it, Linus, because I am so sick of what is expected. Like, you spend all this time leading up to Christmas worrying about buying all this crap, and my kids get so much of it. Every year I beg everybody involved, dial it back. Because we spend 45 minutes over. It was about a 15-minute process, 20 minutes when I was a kid, right? You put your toys together, you play with it the rest of the day. But it wasn't.
Hours.
Yes.
Hours of opening.
Dude, I'm so, I used to put the Christmas stuff after Thanksgiving, like you talked about, because I love Christmas so much. Man, now if there's a week, I didn't see what it is this year. If I can buy me a week before, I ain't putting that up till December now. Because it just has been, and this has nothing to do with the religious aspect of it, and my mom all the time is all over me about, well, make it more about the religious aspect, you won't have this problem. But, yeah, man, Christmas to me is kind of where you get done and you just go, because we've spent 4 months decorating and cleaning.
We said September till January, right?
Yeah, man. My favorite has become Halloween only because I like the decorations, but it's still just simple. Show up, go get your candy, come home.
So let's be honest then. Putting up decorations for the different holidays is a little bit like what's going on with baseball, hockey, basketball, and football. When do they play? When do they go up? There's nothing wrong with football. Why is football here? I'll tell you another thing. We talk about you can't do hockey in the summer, whatever. Why the hell is football is starting in August? That's still summer. They're in training camp before kids go back to school.
Yeah,
that don't seem right.
But here's what's crazy: they used to be in mid-July. The 6-week training camps and all that.
They used to have those long back before they had any rules and stuff. But why can't football start like November 1st?
But November 1st. Come on now, because we need it.
No, we start on November 1st. Let the college start when school starts. Let them get a running start. Bring in the pros. Let's go pros into March. And end right when March Madness starts.
I'm sorry.
And then here's March Madness kicking off, and you're like, whoa. So you go Super Bowl the weekend before the March Madness or whatever.
Is there communist in your bourbon? What is going on? Who is talking to me right now?
I don't want football from August till...
I want football. I want the real games in September. I want to enjoy it on Thanksgiving. I want it at Christmas, and I want it done by February.
Now, see, I'd just soon. I'd rather go November 1st.
But see, here's why we're different.
To April.
I'm a lacrosse guy, and February starts lacrosse. So
why the hell does lacrosse start in February?
Well, that's a great question, but it does. So it's what we do. Yeah. That's how we roll.
Yeah, and listen, they got a major national television package?
No, well, I mean, the PLL is on NBC Sports, if you count that, but you even know what NBC Sports is here?
I've seen it. Our boy Joel Klatt works for them, don't they?
No, he's Fox Sports, whatever. He's, FS1. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with stuff where it is. I think the NBA could be all summer. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I don't mind hockey where it's at. I really don't, I don't know. Baseball, see, the problem with baseball, period, though, is are they not all too long? Everything is too long.
Yeah.
Is everything not too long? I'm one of the few people, I didn't need the extra NFL playoff team, and I don't need a 17th game, man. I just don't. Or whatever it is they're going to try to do. No, I don't need it
either. Well, that's the other thing, too. The money's gotten so crazy, and it's unbelievable money. And so the bigger the money you pay salaries to, the more they have to have it on television. So the more they can make on that, they have to make the season longer. And so it's a thing that, you know what, there probably can't be adjustment until there's like a pandemic or something like that hits the United States. Oh, wait.
No, it's time.
And now they're talking about a 25 to 40% reduction in salary cap next year for the NFL.
They'll go back down to 175.
So, I don't need 50 games in football. I don't need pro football playing on Fridays. I don't need college football playing on Friday. I'm still PO'd about that. Well, it gives these other smaller teams an opportunity to get television. I don't care. Go to your high school. If you like football so much, how about supporting a high school? If you live in a neighborhood, there's a high school that's got a football team near you.
Well, why can't I have me some high school Friday, college Saturday, and football Sunday?
That's exactly what it should be.
I don't disagree. I'm with you. Hey, man, the Thursday night football game, we've been on this high horse. The Thursday night football game, I don't know who. I guess we love it because we watch the crap out of it. That's why they got the TV deal done for it. But I don't,
I don't like Thursday football.
No, the players don't like Thursday football.
Yeah, I don't like Thursday football.
So I'm with you. We could go back to just having it. I don't have a problem. I don't mind some Saturday pro football in December when the colleges stop.
Colleges are done and stopped, yeah.
But I don't, more isn't always better. But everybody, when we get on the show and we talk about this, I just get killed. Everybody wants an extra playoff team. And I ask why. Why do you want an extra playoff team? You want to watch the Chiefs face the Steelers with Duck Dodges or whatever that dude was, Duck Dodger?
Last year.
Duck Hodges. That's what the game would have been. It would have been the Chiefs and the Steelers. We needed to see that?
No.
Come on. That's going to be a good game? Dude, if people are being dead honest with themselves, the wild card weekend of football usually kind of sucks.
Usually.
Every now and again there's an upset, but for the most part, the teams you think are going to win.
Yep.
And the games aren't all that entertaining.
The funny thing is what people don't understand, although I don't know how people think anymore anyway, but the players make their money in the regular season, and they work for the cheap, if you will, in the postseason. So when an owner all of a sudden or an ownership group says, we want to add teams to the postseason, what they should be saying is, we want to add more to our bottom line.
Yes.
Because the players, the players, Drew Brees plays for, $2 million a week, right?
Not 60.
Yeah, in 16 weeks, he plays for $2 million a week. In the postseason, if he wins the championship, he'll win $250,000 or $300,000, whatever the winners get.
Yeah.
Right? So he went from $2 million a week to $300,000 for 4 weeks. So when you hear we want these extra playoff games and more teams in, yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and ultimately, I get it. The fans don't care. They just want more football. And I understand it. I respect that. I'm just saying, as someone that covers it and watches it all, it ain't good football.
But let me ask you this. Do you like March Madness?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
And I don't watch college basketball much during the season because it's during the Nuggets season.
The tournament's fun.
But the tournament's fun. But let's be honest, after the first week, when they got games Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's like wall-to-wall teams, and you get to finally see everybody, the next week's like, okay.
Right.
And then it's like if you did a bracket and it's not dead, then you're excited. If not, you're like, okay.
It's like fantasy football.
I'll catch you after the first week. I'll catch you in the Final Four.
The bracket and the fantasy football are what drives the TV through that first early part of it. Everybody loves fantasy football because it gives you a reason to care early on. And then, the NFL's done it right because you play your little fantasy football, and then by the time everyone gets knocked out as the Super Bowl, then we actually get to the playoffs.
Yeah, but think about this. How many times have you played fantasy football, had like the MVP, in the league basically is your top player, and they're 2 games ahead going in the last week, and you're in your tournament. And he plays like one series and is out the rest of the way.
I won a Super Bowl, a fantasy football Super Bowl against my old boss Dave Rodriguez because I was up on him by like 8 points. He had Donovan McNabb. Donovan played one series and sat. Because the Eagles went to the Super Bowl that year, right. And it was the most lame victory ever. Now, I still took my money now, but it was lame, dude.
Right,
it was freaking lame. You're absolutely right. But this is what, this is the tournament brackets and all that. This is what drives it. But it's also why people don't love a team anymore. They love their team. Their team is their fantasy team.
Right, right.
People are not loyal to logos the way they want.
How much time we got left in this? I got
plenty of time. We got all the time we need.
I got to bring this up to you. Have you noticed? And I noticed it on our radio station. We work at Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. I noticed it big time on the TNT broadcast. Isn't it crazy? It is for me. Now I'm a little older, right? But isn't it crazy how accepting gambling is now?
Well,
it started as fantasy sports, and now all those fantasy people, which I think they must have been brilliant, because they hooked it in with the fantasy, get your system all ready to track, and did gambling's legal. Okay, now they just stole real money on top of this. But how all the sponsorship on all the games, I mean, it used to be you knew you were going to get Budweiser and beer commercials during the playoffs, right? Now, dude, I can't believe how many gambling things I've seen.
Well, I mean, if you want to go to FanDuel,
which, by the way, we would take on this podcast.
If you want to go get FanDuel and use promo code Andy, I'm happy for you to do it.
Right.
Free $10 bets going through August 2nd. Get in on the action. Day of free betting, Scott, up to the 2nd. So get in on that action. NBA's going again. You know what the gambling is for our world? It's the new dick pill. It's the new blue pill.
Really?
Well, dude, I don't know what else to tell you. You talked about the standards. I mean, Budweiser will always be there. The truck commercials will always be there.
Right.
But for a while, it was Cialis, and it was the Viagra. Well, now it's going to be It's going to be FanDuel and DraftKings and BetMGM and all that other stuff.
Has anybody ever come up to you to ask if you wanted to advertise for that yet?
What? The blue? I had to do a Blue Chew once.
The blue what?
It's called Blue Chew, and it was back at the other place. It was at the Orange and Blue 760, and so they told me to have fun with it, which is what I did. I was like, hey, you want to be like Philip Rivers in the bedroom with his 9 kids? Have a little Blue Chew.
How fast did they come running in there to say, well, not this
No, that's what they wanted. They ate it up. I was like, look, be the MVP of the bedroom. We would talk about things like, hey, you got your fantasy team on your mind. You got all these problems. You don't have time to worry about that. You know what I wanted to say was, I don't know I don't know from the dude's view. I don't know too many dudes that are, turning away the lady.
Right.
If anyone's not in the mood, it's not usually the male population. None of my friends, anyway. I haven't met these dudes.
For married guys, aren't they giving the pill to the wrong person?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that what it is? Because I'm sitting around going, hey, wait a minute. It's not the problem to perform. It's not getting it in the on position. It's getting a willing participant to go along with you.
But that's why you have the jewelry store advertising also right there. Right?
Yeah, right.
Get that advertised.
Williams Jewelers?
Yeah, then that helps us over the other side. I tell you what, the funny thing, and we call the show, this podcast Zoo Crew Redo, and you and I are both on the Zoo forever. In fact, you broke into radio basically on the Zoo, right? And I remember when I first started, and Dave and I, we actually did our show on 760 for a year, and they were blown away how successful it got so quick. We started 760. It wasn't even I don't even think it was a signal then. And so we started, boom, 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 have success within a year. They said, we're going to put you on the big dog KOA. So we go there. We in a meeting win with Lee and Chris and all the
big wigs.
all the old big
biggest
wigs.
of wigs.
And they said, listen, our audience is getting old. We got to get younger. We got to get younger with our audience. Play on the edge. Have fun. I go, great. First week, Joycelyn Elders was the Surgeon General of the United States at the time, and she'd come out with this big speech basically saying masturbation should be taught in the school system, in high school.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, masturbation taught? I'm like, taught? So I did a thing, and this is when Dave Letterman was going big, and he always had that top 10 list. So I say, hey, Dave and I worked on it. Top 10 reasons masturbation should be taught in high school when we come back. Dude, I came back and did 10. That was funny. I can't remember all of them. I remember one of them was letters for everybody. Everybody letters, right?
On the team?
Yeah, everybody letters, right?
Yeah.
In high school, everybody letters.
Yeah, I ain't judging that contest.
So I do a whole top 10, right? Dude, we get off the air, and Dave's crying. I'm laughing. And Chris, the program director, comes running down there. What are you doing? I go, you guys said you want to push the edge. He said, you want to get a younger audience. He said, yeah, but we don't want to have the old people running and screaming. So I don't know why I brought that up, but it just made me think, everybody wants change and do some stuff, and they say it until it comes.
Well, if I remember, though, one of the most popular shows KOA has ever had.
I would say it would probably be Mike Rosen and Rush were rolling for years. So,
well,
homegrown.
I remember the boys doing all right. Is all I'm saying.
Did okay.
Hey, real quickly. So I wanted to bring you this real quickly to just kind of wrap up because I got to get your take on this, and it was interesting. And everyone, just stay with me. So you probably didn't see this, but it was. I meant to show you the video before we got on air. So there's a lacrosse league called the Premier Lacrosse League. They mic'd a guy up, and it was driving me nuts the other day. They had this cocky rookie had his mic up. Okay, so you heard about him.
Yeah.
He's running like he's running his mouth at the goalie, and they're putting it up on the broadcast. I think it's a coach on the sideline, Scotty. I mean, the things he's saying are so obnoxious. I'm thinking it's a coach just being the jerk off coach that isn't really doing anything but loves to be proud of it. And frankly, the player wasn't doing too much but wanted to talk for all his teammates.
But he was acting like a real DI.
He was telling the guy that he needed to retire. At one point, he goes, you're supposed to jump in front of the shot, not jump out of the way. Just get out of here. Just get out of here. You're not even helping your team. Just all this stuff. So then they pot him up to do an on-field interview. He goes and stands by the goalie and says he sucks. But, that's no new story. He's always sucked. So this guy's just running his mouth. Next game, because there's a code in every sport. And even, I thought it was even interesting because at one point during his mic session, the player goes, I can't believe the D's let me talk to the goalie that way. And that's what I really thought it was a coach. So next game, a D not only knocks him on his butt, but then punches him in the head. And now everybody's, like all the younger generation lacrosse players were just losing their minds. And again, was it a cheap shot? Yeah, it was. Go ahead and handle it within the realm of the game. But it struck me, Mike Tyson had tweeted out a couple weeks ago, people talk to you on Twitter like they ain't afraid to get punched anymore.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself,
anymore. Yeah.
There's an example of it.
Yep.
That somehow, when did this change where you should just be able to say whatever you want, and the minute somebody gets tired of it, and I'm not promoting thuggery.
You're not advocating.
But,
But that's also the game used to police. All the games used to police themselves. I was in a game in Miami, and we were the visiting team. We were the Detroit Pistons. And we are up 40 points on the Miami Heat. And we're crushing them. I mean, I'm in the game. I'm playing like the whole fourth quarter. I mean,
big minutes.
Yeah, I played double-digit minutes that game. I mean, we're up 40 in the fourth quarter, and I can't remember. I think the guy's name was Willie Burton or something like that. Played in the league for a while. Pretty athletic guy, but just just an idiot sometimes. And he's on there, and he is out there just talking trash. He gets a breakaway and dunks it and starts like showboating and doing all this stuff. I look over at Tree Rollins. I said, "What's this guy doing?" He goes, "Man, I don't know." I said to him, I said, first guy that puts him on the ground, the other guy buys lunch. He goes, deal. Well, I'm playing small forward. He's a small forward. So, man, I'm standing over on if you're facing the basket, I'm over on the right side of the wing, right wing. I open up to the free throw line. I'm giving it to him. Man, he goes in the basket. This is honest God truth. And I clothesline the hell out of him and just throw him to the ground. I want a free lunch. No whistle. We get the ball go. He gets up behind me, chases me, swings at me, misses, falls down. They call a foul on him, give him a technical. I shoot free throws. The moral of the story is this. Did I cheap shot the guy? Yeah. But guess what? The officials also knew that he was running his mouth and knew he needs to shut up, and someone needed to put him on his ass and say, listen, you're down 40, act like, It's kind of like, remember the one game with Duchesne? Gets his 30th goal, and it made it a 4-1 game, and he's up celebrating, and it's like late in the third period, I think he gets his 30th goal of the year. They're down 4-1 now, and he's like pumping it, and he kind of caught himself, and finally Patrick Wall wasn't happy. Remember that, Patrick?
Oh, yeah.
He said, come on, man, you're down 4-1. You got your nice achievement. We're down 4-1. Come on now.
Chat up with the boys about a cold one, right?
Yeah.
Later on.
So, and I'm not embarrassed by what I did. Am I proud? Maybe, but that's how the game used to be. You had a decorum and a respect for the game. And I'm telling you, and Hugh Hollins was the referee. And I remember him. He just looked at me. He knew that guy was running his mouth, and you're done before you shut up. You don't say nothing. Take your lick and go home. Play better tomorrow, next night. And he let me, I threw him on the ground. No call.
You got your money's worth.
No whistle. No. I shot free throws. I threw him on the ground. I got free throws.
Well, I just, again, I'm not promoting. I'm not trying to cause a dangerous game out there, but I think sooner or later, maybe we'd all have a different attitude on Twitter if we actually thought we might have to face the person we're saying all this nasty stuff to. Is all it just kind of struck me as. So, on that note, it's been fun catching up with you. We're going to get these things going again. We appreciate people sticking it out. The pandemic's been weird. Scotty and I have been trying to be responsible. So
we have been trying to be responsible.
But it's game on. And we're socially distanced as we do this now. You can't see, but we're far apart. We're not even on the same couch.
Well, the one time we did one, we were on your couch, and you were on one end, I was on the other, and goes, oh, what happened to social distancing?
Yeah.
We're 6 feet apart.
Right.
4.
So here we go.
Yeah.
We're good now. It's hard to social distance from you, technically. You got a long reach.
I do have a long reach, but I also have a 10-foot mic cord. You're happy. You're proud about that, weren't you?
Yeah, that was a good purchase by you. All right, check in with us. We're going to get it going weekly again. The Zoo Crew Redo Podcast.